Good morning. I am back on Northern Dancer 5. I got here late last night, and although we've owned the boat for over a year, it's only the second time I've seen the boat. So, very excited to be here. Devlin couldn't make it this trip. She has a lot of meetings in April, and so it's just myself, but we had to come down and check on it, or I had to come down and check on it. It had been, the last time we were here was July 2020, and I know it's been a long year for us and a long year for everybody with all the things that are happening in the world. But yeah, it's good to be back on the water, back on the west coast, get away from the snow. Devlin and I walked to work all year, and it was minus 36, I think, with the wind chill just earlier this week. It's March 30th. We're still in Yellowknife, and in 2 days I'll be on the boat, but I thought I'd just share with everyone the temperature. Today it's minus 28 degrees Celsius, and with the wind chill it's minus 36. I don't know if you can all see that, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to some warmer temperatures. And here today is supposed to be plus 10 degrees and sunny, so I'll take it. We bought this boat on March 11th, 2020. It took about a month and a half for the process of purchasing it. We were out of the area, and the owners were currently out of the area, and the boat was here on Vancouver Island. So it took a little while, but March 11th was the close date of 2020. And coincidentally, the World Health Organization made an announcement on March 11th, 2020 that there was a world pandemic. So that's the reason we haven't been down to the boat much. It's been very difficult to get out of the Northwest Territories and to get back in, although it's within Canada. A lot's been done actually while we were not on the boat. Since July, we've had nearly the whole boat rewired, new electrical panel, new lifelines on the top sides, and well, that's about it. But those are big projects. It took a couple months to do the wiring. I tried the S-bar heater though this morning. The fans all work, but I couldn't get heat, so I'll have to tinker with that today and see about that. But I do have a little radiant heater on here plugged into AC, so I'm fine while I'm at the marina. But I do plan to leave the dock. I just realized that last shot might have not looked like the boat was in disarray. So there is a bit of clutter in different areas. We've got a bunch of oil on the table, well, in containers, luckily. Up in the V-berth is full of the boat cover, a sail, a big box with something in it. I don't even remember what's in it. We have 3 staterooms on this boat, and guess where I slept last night? Right on that couch, or settee. All the other rooms are full. It's a bit dark probably, but that's the port stateroom, or quarter berth I guess you could call it. This is, oh, the light's way back there, you can't even see, but this is full of stuff as well. So anyways, I better get to it. And I see sunshine out there, so I might start outside. Well, I'm getting a few things done, but I've also had a few visitors, just people I haven't seen for a while, so practicing socially distanced, masked visits. Just people noticed I'm here at the marina, so that's great. And the next thing on my list is dock lines. So I had a whole bunch of this braided line at the house in the Northwest Territories, and I didn't know what to do with it for the longest time. And then had a light bulb went off in my head one day, and I said, why don't I make some new dock lines? Because the lines we have are getting a bit weathered and old and mismatched. So I looked up some videos and saw how to splice. So I've made some eye splices, and on the longer lines I've done I think it's called a reverse splice. So you go to the end and then you braid it backwards. That just gives it a little more weight when you're throwing it to someone at shore. And yeah, so I've made 6 of them, but I only brought 4 down because I sort of had limited room in my duffel bag here. Well, and just like that, the day is almost over, at least for daylight outside. Oh, I found out that there's an undersea garden on the hull. A lot of mussels and probably barnacles and seaweed growth. So I scraped off what I could and brushed off what I could. I've got some divers coming on April 8th now because the prop is covered and I need new zincs. So I talked to Larry, the guy we bought the boat through, the boat broker. He was down on the dock today and he lined that up for me, so thanks, Larry. But it kind of cuts into my cruising plan, but I need to focus my priority on getting maintenance done on the boat while I'm here. I'll still get out, just might have to split up the trips or do a little bit shorter of a trip, but I'd rather have the bottom sorted out. I am going to try and take the boat out in a couple days just for a test run. I ran the prop in forward and reverse and it knocked off most of the mussels, but there's still a fair bit of growth on the propeller. Oh, I meant to show you guys this earlier. Our old boat, Moonshine, had a hatch board, I guess you call it, that goes in the companionway here, and then you slide the hatch. But this boat is different. It has 2 little opening doors, and I'm not sure if the camera can see that, but that is solid teak, which is still hard to believe that you can. Well, this is from the 70s. This boat was built in 1979 in Taiwan. And yeah, anyways, back to the doors. They open up like this. Now this one is blocked. I don't know if that's in the camera. Oh yeah, by the mast here. This is the mizzen mast, I think they call it. But yeah, so it doesn't open all the way, but it's really easy. If I just get on this side, it's easier to do. You just pop it off the hinges, spin it around, drop it on the hinges, and then it's got a little latch there, so it stays open like that. And this side also has a latch, so once the doors are open, they're not going anywhere. And actually, if you want, you can just pop them both off and throw them down below if you don't want them in at all. There is a track here as well. I do have some drop boards that I can put in, and we're probably going to build something with a screen so that we can screen this and have some ventilation when we're cruising up north and the bugs are bad. But yeah, I thought I'd just show you guys that before I call it a day. And yeah, I think that's it. Cool little doors. Oh, another interesting thing maybe I'll share with you guys is a little bit of the history of this boat. So when we came down in July, we brought a binder or a folder that had a lot of documents in it that related to the history of the boat. And we found in this folder the original master builder signature on a sheet signing off on the final sign off for the build, which was really cool. That was in Taiwan. So we've got this inked signature on this piece of paper that's 42 years old. So that was really fun to find. And we'd heard, getting back to the history of the boat, we're the fourth owners, and we had heard from the previous owner who owned him and his wife owned this boat for 25 years before we purchased it. They had told us that a famous actor's son had owned the boat originally as the first purchaser and first owner. But when we met with them in July, like, it was a lot of information I was taking in, so I didn't really give too much thought beyond what he had said, and I remembered it, but didn't really think about it much more. Anyways, in this folder, we found more documents because the original owner purchased this boat in the United States and had it imported into Canada. I think it was 1981. So after a couple of years of owning it, or 3 years, he brought it into Canada, into West Vancouver, and his name was Fraser Heston, and that is the son of Charlton Heston. So he's an older, well, he's passed away now, but an older Hollywood actor, but he was very well known. I told my dad that story, and I said, oh, the original owner was the son of Charlton Heston, and he thought, oh, well, that's really great, that's very interesting. And I told my daughter, and she had no clue who he was. So that's a different generation. Anyways, I'm rambling a bit, but I thought that was an interesting little piece of history, and I guess I'll continue with where there were 4 owners. And so he owned the boat from 1979 till 1985, and we're sure that Charlton Heston was on this boat because Fraser Heston was in his early 20s at the time, and this was a fairly expensive boat for 1979 to purchase for a person in their early 20s, so we like to think that maybe he was on here, sitting right where I am, maybe. And anyways, he owned it till 1985, and it's in Vancouver, Canada now. Then the owner who purchased the boat, who we purchased the boat from, actually looked at the boat in 1985, but he didn't follow through or didn't make an offer on the boat, and then a couple from Victoria, British Columbia bought it. And they owned the boat until 1995 when they put it on the market, so they had it for 10 years. And when they put it on the market, the person who looked at it in 1985 and who we bought the boat from and owned it for the last 25 years, he bought it sight unseen. He knew the boat, and I think he'd already looked at it. And anyways, he bought it in 1995 and owned it until we purchased it just last year. So that's the history of the boat. And I didn't know the whole history of the last boat I had, Moonshine. I mean, I knew the previous owners. I talked with them and met them, but I didn't know the whole history. So that's kind of fun to know that, and also interesting to know who the first owner was. So yeah, that's the little trivia I can share with you tonight as I'm trying to think of things to tell you guys. It's been a while since I've done filming, but I'll try to keep filming some more, and I will get out, so there will be some content of the boat underway. And that's about it for tonight. I'm going to make some dinner and then call it a night.